Okay, you may be asking some really good questions right now, like, Daniel, how do I actually apply these design patterns? Is there like a process? Well, of course there's a process, and I'm going to teach you that right now. So there are so many design pattern libraries out there, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go through every single library and just like start picking out all these different types of design patterns and applying all of them. Don't do that. Now, there are solutions to usability problems, and if you don't have a usability problem, then you shouldn't necessarily apply some sort of solution where it doesn't need to be. But I'll tell you the proper way to actually assess if you need to choose a certain design pattern and what that process looks like. So step number one, you need to have some sort of problem. So figure out the problems that actually require the solutions. Step number two, analyze other products that have found a solution. So that means just kind of go and find similar websites, similar products to yours that have a solution to your problem. It could be similar to yours. It could be almost the same. It could have slight variants. It could be entirely different, but take a look at what your competitors are doing. Once we've examined how other products actually implement these solutions, or once we've taken a look at what products actually do, we need to actually analyze that efficiency of that solution. So take a look in more depth on how each product actually works. Like, is it going to be a good fit for your product? Is it working for them? I mean, it's just take a deeper look at exactly what those people are doing. And then once you've kind of chosen a pattern, analyze those patterns and decide which one is right for you and your problem. So I mean, that could mean that you found a certain pattern that you like and you dig deeper to see other similar products that have that pattern, and you can decide, which variant would help you better. So step number one is to kind of detect those types of issues, but you should be doing that with actual data. Now, you can detect that with things like user interviews. It could be with like data from something like Amplitude that tracks like user inputs and drop-off rates and stuff like that. Mixed panels, another one. But you should always make your decisions based off of that instead of making it based off of assumptions. Now, let's take a step back and let's come up with an example. So say we have an e-commerce site with a very high bounce rate. Now we've checked like our mixed panel or Amplitude, and we found that people are dropping off right at checkout. That's where the big bounce rate is from. And based off of some feedback from users, we have a really long sign up form and sign up wall right at the end. And we think that's where the problem lies. So step one is pretty much done here. We have our problem and it's very clear, and we can kind of proceed to the next stage. And that next stage is to analyze similar websites. So the first step is, visiting all those different websites or products. So in our case, it's going to be websites, and they need to be similar to yours. And we're going to analyze their approaches to solving this issue. So we have Amazon here. So this is Amazon.ca, and their solution is a sign-up wall similar to ours. It's not a long form, it's a very short form, but it's a similar sign-up wall before actually purchasing a product. And we're going to get into the actual efficiency of that later. Now, the second option we have here is eBay. Now, eBay has something similar. There is a guest purchase at the end. Users can easily check out with PayPal, and PayPal has your shipping address most likely. That's another design pattern that we can use, like a guest checkout, instead of having people actually sign in. So we'll take a look at the efficiency of that later. And then we have Etsy. Now, Etsy has a social login if you don't want to actually sign up. So we can have people actually sign in easily through social media, and a lot of people actually have social media. So we'll take a look at that efficiency as well in the next section. So these are 3 different design patterns, and we don't necessarily need to use every single one of them, but we're going to figure out which one is going to be right for us. So I'm going to jump into Google Chrome to take a look at all these different websites, and we can go through the efficiency of each and every pattern.